Now, to start this trading post, what? Oh, I've picked up the wrong thing. He's not an enemy among us. He's Wug, or he's going to be Wug. This is going to be a character I'm going to make for the trading post, so you know what that means. Let's start scratching that build. And before anybody says anything, my daughter chose this name, so I have to go with Wug, which meant I had to do a lot of sewing and endless amounts of cutting and gluing and many other things until I'm left with this. And now you'll see more of Wug later on, but for now let's jump to the trading post. To start this trading post, I'm going to need a base, and this heat mat will come in handy. Yes, the other half is getting suspicious that her heat mats are slowly dwindling down in the cupboard, but I keep telling her that the leprechauns are taking them. What's that? You don't believe me either? God damn it, leprechauns are real. Who else do you think makes all these models? Not me. I took 5 consecutive showers just so I could empty this bottle. And judging by the way I'm going at this with the hacksaw, I should have got adult supervision. I spared you the 2 minutes that it took me to take that lid off and cut it at an angle, simply because I wanted this to be at an angle, because everything that is going to be on this trading post is going to be slightly off kilter. Hot glue is applied to the bottle to stick down to the heat mat. Oh look, some random piece of plastic I found in my junk box. I'm just going to snip away at it to look like I know what I'm doing. Electrical wire snips. Yes, this will make Spider-Man turn in his swivel chair, if there's such a thing. If nobody knows who Spider-Man is, go check out his channel. He's the electric guy. He's the guy that does all the fancy lights and stuff like that. More fancy than me. More professional than me as well. And I have no idea if he has a swivel chair. He probably doesn't. He probably has a bench, a seat, a normal chair. Anyway, back to the build. Because I swap and change with all my different videos, you've probably not seen this yet. This is probably for a keyboard hoover. Not going to tell you the name because I'm not being sponsored by it, but I got it for under €10 and boy does it work. It's great for the workbench. And because I know you don't believe me, I'm going to tip out the contents and then hoover it back up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Goodbye, rubbish. Non-product placement. Over with. There's the plastic bit that I was snipping down earlier. A bit of hot glue and I'm going to stick it as the door. No build of mine is ever complete without EVA foam. So I'm just going to I'm just going to cut this down into chunks and then stick it onto the bottle. Punching holes, which is going to be redundant when you've painted it, into the EVA foam. I make these mistakes so then you don't have to. Simples. And even though I'm still not being paid by this company to advertise this hoover, and it's that good, I'm going to show you again how good it is. And there we go, all gone, mess cleared, move on. Sticking chunks of EVA foam onto the bottle. And because I'm going to start making a little bit more terrain and stuff like that for Warhammer, I decided to make this tower into kind of like an Orkz sort of thing. More of that in a minute. For now, coffee stirrers. Yes, I'm still barred from my local coffee shop, so these are from Amazon. A nice big box of 1,000 coffee stirrers for under €10. Just snipping the roundy bits off, and then I'm going to texture it and then apply it to the model. No one can accuse me of wasting plastic on this model. The lid that I sawed off at the start of the video now gets stuck onto the side of the tower? Bottle tower? So more on the backstory of this, the trading post, and Wug. Wug is going to be that sort of creature that wants to be an orc but isn't, and you'll see by his paintwork at the end that he's tried to be like an orc. And this trading post is where the orcs go to get all their bits and pieces. So yeah, so this is kind of like ties in with the Orkz, kind of. Look, it's my build, it's my story, it's my idea. Basically, the reason why I'm making the trading post is because I just wanted a break from my spaceship builds and stuff like that. So it's just like a palette cleanser, as they say. Off screen, I made another house to go on top of the tower. And yes, I've positioned it precariously because corrugated cardboard that you get from packaging. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm just going to chop this down and then stick it onto the tower. So if you're new here, leave this code word just at the start of a comment, just so that I know that you reached here without skipping to the glamour shots. And the code word is barrel. And don't forget to leave a like and a sub if you're not subscribed already. Every little helps. Plastic spoons. For some reason, plastic spoons are going to be incorporated in this build. I don't know myself. I know what I can do with the plastic spoons. I'll make a path. Some sad random model kit is going to get repurposed. Sometimes it may look like I'm randomly just cutting things up and sticking them on, but then other times there's happy little accidents, to quote Bob Ross. I'm going to make the wheel arches from the model kit into a window. Genius. This is that plastic stuff that's supposed to be non-stick that you put on your table. I'm going to repurpose that and use that as the inside of the window, so it's like a window pane. And then just find a space that you can fit it on, because you didn't take measurements. Oh, more spoons. What am I going to do this time? I know, I'll make an archway. Unnecessary long shot of me applying hot glue to a spoon. Adding something to the build. Adding extra detail bits to the towers now, and this is the bits where it's going to start looking like Orkish. Every house needs a chimney, especially for those cold winter nights. Unless you live in the UK, and then you just use electric. Visiting nature, because I want something from nature. Ah, this strategically placed bag will do. Don't forget, you've got to get all those bugs out of the bag, so you're going to have to heat it up in the oven on a low heat, season to taste, and once it's done, all the nastiness should have gone. I'm going to apply the bark around the tower, even though at the end you're not really going to see it, but I know it's there. Greebly time, and what better way to use greebles is to have a delve in my junk bots. Now this didn't come from the junk bots, this is a suite that I'm going to get rid of and use the container for. It looks like some sort of illegal substances inside here. I might have to have a try off screen. In fact, if you bear with me, I'll open one up now and I'll have a taste. 1 second. Yep, okay, here we go. Oh, gee! Oh! Well, ladies and gentlemen, after product testing that candy, I can attest that it was sourer than your other half's look when you tell her that you're playing golf at the weekend, instead of taking her to the restaurant. So what am I doing now? I'm just roughing up the edges of this 2mm styrene, just to give it some scratches and some dinks and stuff like that, and then I'll put them onto the model. This will fit perfectly just there. Jump bots assembled. I'm going to stick that there, just get some hot glue and just stick it into place so it looks like some sort of generator. Adding more greebles, which came from the jump bots, onto the base. Oh, you know what's going to come now? The beads. Many beads. Because this is an Orkz build, I'm just going to start applying the sticky gems that aren't so sticky that I have to use super glue first and then stick the beads onto the super glue. All the way around the building. And there we have the second building to the tower, and I'm kind of guessing it's going to be his outhouse, or it could be a generator. Which one of the two you want to use? I'm going to say generator, but everybody's got to poop somewhere. I know I should have used PVA glue to stick the gravel down to the base, but I was impatient, so I just used super glue. Now, because there's lots of porous things like the bark and the EVA foam, I'm going to paint Mod Podge over all the model before I prime it. So as you can see, once everything had dried, I just painted it some black and then used some Vallejo tarmac paint, which like I said earlier on in the build, it made everything redundant with all the small little details that I'd put into the EVA foam, but nevertheless that can be redone. And then I'm just going to put silver over it, over everything. You'll see why in a second. So I was undecided, and this is what cripples me most, is what colours to paint things. So I started off with a green. Then once that was dry, I went in with the brown to do all the bark colours. Then I hit some certain areas with a blue, topping it off with my own concoction of colour, just to add some more variation really. This is me practicing trying to do highlights, trying to hit the high notes with a lighter colour than the dark, which is going to be redundant because I throw black wash on it eventually. So I said this was going to be in my Ork universe, and here I am making the Orky colours. Still not quite sure why they have black and white checks, but I'm sure somebody will let me know in the comments nicely. Once all the black wash had dried, I then went in with a dry brush of white just to hit all the edges. And coming next is the glamour shots, so thank you very much for sticking with me. Like, subscribe and leave a comment. Don't forget the code word, and until next time, keep scratching that build everybody.